welcome to the Football Fill-In, everybody. We've got a belting show for you today. We've got Super Ben Tozer, fresh from TST. We've got Super Watto, fresh from 2 weeks.
10 days.
10 days in Tenerife.
Giving it an absolute shellac.
Yeah, pray for his liver. And Super Tom Ochoa just...
Chilling?
Just chilling, yeah. Right, we're going to come straight in, lads. Emi Martinez apparently could be leaving Aston Villa and going to potentially Manchester United. Watto, I'm going to come for you first because you are the goalkeeping guru. That's a good move, isn't it?
For Man United.
For Man United.
That would be astounding. And on the flip for Villa, that's like when Man United lost De Gea. Absolute disaster.
Is Aston Villa losing Emi Martinez about the... Is he the most important player for that football team, do you think?
I think he's up there with what they've got at Villa, yeah.
And so that's going to be a massive miss. For me, I think if they lose him or the manager, it's a big problem for Aston Villa, isn't it, Toze?
Yeah, that's a main pillar of the club, isn't it, really? The goalkeeper is the foundation of everything. Like, especially if Man United go and get him, they can just go and build off the back of that.
Is it football clubs, right? Most important positions, the spine. The goalie, the centre-backs,
yeah, definitely.
The midfielder, the striker. If you can get that spine sorted, you can then build round it, can't you?
Because players orchestrate people around them, don't they? So if you've got that spine sorted, solid, everything around it, you kind of pull people in, push them out. And I know the game's different and evolving and whatever, but that's kind of your spine, isn't it, literally?
We were doing some research, like this time of year, you're looking at all the news articles and it's always apparently... sources close to the player, but they never say about the source, and it's just all made up nonsense. So you can only go from what we read, but apparently Emi's offered himself to United, but sources close to him say that his heart is set on Madrid. You know the guy, Ben. We've both done bits with him, and he's won the Yashin Award twice, and from spending a brief amount of time with him a couple of times, the one thing I got from Emi immediately is that he is ruthlessly driven, and he
ridiculous, isn't it?
And he wants to win the Olympics. He wants to win everything.
Yeah,
and
he had just won the World Cup. We did the podcast with him. He had just won the World Cup, and he was on about the Olympics.
Yeah,
he was on about progressing into the Champions League. He was on about the Premier League. It weren't enough that he had just won the World Cup.
So based on that, he's 32 years old. He didn't become a number one super early in his career.
27-ish?
Yeah. So, I'm not coming for United here, but I can't see him going to United based on that.
But what's the thing? You know the guy personally, obviously I don't, but I know he's a driven guy. Villa and Villa's manager at the minute are miles better fit than Man United. If he's going to Man United, he's going to finish 4th or 5th bottom, isn't he? That's the challenge they've got this year, to stay up.
But does he want to go? Does he want to go?
Wait there a second. Do you genuinely believe that United are going to be in a relegation battle?
I think they'll be well near the bottom.
Nah, they have to be better this year, don't they? I think
if
he is that sort of guy, which is amazing, I think he wants to be the kind of catalyst that goes, right, I'm going to grab this club by the scruff of the neck and I'm going to drag it up. If he is the way that you see it.
If they do sign him, I think it does. I agree. I think it enables United to go and flex their muscles and go and get a couple more big boys.
Yeah.
Buemo's already spoken about Gyökeres. There's a few others. Cunha's already through the door. But if he's going to Manchester United, right?
They need more than that, don't they?
They need more than that, without doubt. And I agree with Watto. I don't think Man United are going to be anywhere near challenging for any kind of even top 10. I think it's going to be a struggle this season for them.
Do you think they will be in a relegation?
No, I don't think they'll be in a relegation fight, but I don't think they're going to be challenging. It's going to be mid-table mediocrity, isn't it? And it's going to be kind of acceptable as well.
It's a rebuild, isn't it? Let's be honest.
But it's... Do you know where Man United are at the minute? I keep seeing all this stuff about Brian Buemo signing, and they want to sign apparently because of this new project that they've got going on with the new. And I'm thinking, what new project?
Yeah. The project should be now.
Where have I seen this new project? Where are the building blocks? Where's the foundation of this new project?
What are you tempting Martinez with then? What are you saying? We know Man United, right? Phenomenal institutional football club, but I think that's what Villa is. And I think Villa are so far ahead in everything that they're doing. Yeah. You're taking a backward step in terms of football. Now, if you talk about Atletico Madrid, perennial challengers, if you like, to the main two, always Champions League football. My question on that is Oblak's top goalie. So there's got to be a massive move involved for him to be moving on.
Yeah, there's too many moving parts.
Yeah, but Atletico would surely suit him better, because at 32, Is he going in for a project? No, he wants to continue his upward trajectory.
Yeah, but do you know what Man United have got ahead of all of this is global appeal. The global appeal of Manchester United is bigger than, other than Real Madrid and Barcelona, global appeal is Man United, isn't it? So if he signs for Manchester United, his everything just gets bumped. Everything.
Yeah.
His wages are going to go
I don't
up.
think it's about that.
What's it going to be about then? Why would he sign for a Manchester United?
It is about that. You've seen it. You spoke to the bloke, mate. He is a different beast.
Yeah, but he's not going to be challenging him.
Atletico Madrid would make sense then, wouldn't it?
I don't think that's why you won't end up there.
Well, he's definitely going somewhere because nobody cries on the pitch at the end of the season, all right? Unless it's tears.
They got sent off, didn't they?
Unless it's tears.
I thought I would have cried because the Vegas trip got cancelled and I've got to go to Ibiza or Tenerife or something, you know what I mean?
Maybe it's because he's going to miss the next 3 games the next season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a rumbling one. I think if he leaves Villa to go to Man United, it's a backward step for him in his career.
Yeah, it's going to be
And they'd have
interesting.
to offload Onana.
They'd have to offload Onana, which means that he's going to go somewhere, because I can't imagine he's going to be happy sitting on the bench. I could see Onana getting a move back to a European team.
Leamington are looking for a new goalie.
Unbelievable.
Well, what about when you talk
Unbelievable.
about
How far off
goalies sitting on the bench?
Yeah.
So Kepa really well last year on loan at Bournemouth, and obviously now going to go to Arsenal to sit on the bench.
What do you make of this then, Watto? Because 30 years old, Kepa, record Premier League goalkeeper signing. He's been on crazy wages for a long time now. Had a fantastic year last year at Bournemouth, but yeah.
What do you make of it?
Is this a signal?
Let's come to you first.
All right, I think it's a signal that he's happy now to kind of go, do you know what, my sort of, which is crazy at 30, but it's almost like he's signalled that his playing days are over and he's happy playing second fiddle where he knows he might play 10 games a season for the next 5 years.
But isn't that even crazier, Watto? Because he's just established himself as a one again.
Yeah,
He's come back from the
to
dead.
me, it seems bonkers. Obviously, you know, he were at the very top of the tree when Chelsea spent all that money.
Yeah.
Re-established himself on loan at Bournemouth last year, and then has just decided, do you know what? I can't get anywhere near the Spanish team. I'm going to go and not only compete with Raya, who's potentially trying to get to be Spanish number one. I'll come to a big team and I'll sit on the bench. But I think in these situations, money makes you soft.
Yeah.
And I think he's got softer and softer and softer. And actually really surprised me probably how well he did at Bournemouth last year, because I think the money makes you a little bit soft and you lose that drive and that edge. We're talking previously, Emi's got that drive. That'll never change in his dynamic. I think with Kepa, he probably realised last year that he's fulfilling everything, and it probably didn't stimulate him enough, and he's happy to go and sit on the bench.
One thing I often hear, and I don't think it gets spoken about much, is that when players go down to that south coast, to Bournemouth, remember Frankie, our old editor?
Yeah.
And it seems to be, outside of London, it seems to be a really desirable place to live and be.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, the players really, really integrate themselves into the local community.
Yeah, love it
They're
down
always out and about. Whether or not he just found a bit of comfort or solace, whatever it is, going down there and
Realise there's more to life than football, you mean?
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it can do.
It's a surprising one because, like you say, I think he's re-established himself as a number one,
Yeah.
a good-to-go, bona fide Premier League number one starting goalkeeper, reliable. And then, do you know what I think it does as well is by signing for Arsenal, right? I think he can say to the people around him or to the wider world, listen, I'm going there to compete. You know, I'm going there to compete and try and be the number one. But I think deep down he knows what he's going there for.
As a goalkeeper, do you think he's capable of competing with Raya?
No, he's not.
Nowhere near.
He's not good enough to be near Raya. I think Arsenal know that as well. They're signing a very capable backup goalkeeper, but somebody that probably at that level isn't going to be reliable.
But at 30, if he was 33, even 34, you'd kind of understand it. But to seal your own fate at 30 on the back of the season that he's
30,
had, he is now put a declaration to the world saying, happy being a two.
That'll do. Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, it's fair.
Or is he just that miserable at Chelsea, just wants to get out?
No, I think he's happy to go now. He's going to be joining a Spanish manager. He's got a Spanish goalkeeper to.
But that culture
to be
might
friends
suit him
with.
then.
Yeah,
that culture will suit him. That style of football where they like to play the ball out from the back a little bit more.
He looks after himself. He can be sat at Arsenal for 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not
English, though.
He's not going to struggle out of his lifestyle
And
with that.
you think about wages as well. You'd imagine he's still going to be on 100 grand a week or something like that. £5 million transfer
Do you
fee.
really think
I think it's a fantastic move for Arsenal, by the way. For Arsenal, it's absolutely...
100 grand a week as a two?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, because Raya won't be on the
top
big
end.
number one wages, will he? He won't be on the 250s.
No, Ray will be on...
He'll be on
over
130, 140.
Yeah, but then you put the two together, that adds up to
Exactly, yeah.
what, like a
But the
Martinez.
goals are-
Keeping department will do it.
It's boxed off. It's done. Sorted.
Yeah.
Thank you. We ain't got to worry about this for a couple of years now. It's nice place to be for Arsenal. Honestly, really, really.
And that's a very good number two, isn't it?
solid, mate.
Yeah. And obviously, the evolution of the game now is that obviously a lot of number twos will play in Europe and
Yeah,
that
FA
kind of
Cup,
thing. So
cup
actually,
matches.
he will get games.
That's what I'm saying. 10 games a year he'll play. He'll play 10
Yeah.
games a year. And I think for some people, they're happy with that. And who are we to judge that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he hasn't got that drive and that will to want to be a number one week in, week out in the Premier League, it's relentless, then fair play to him. It's a nice place to be a number two.
Let me ask you about...
Obviously does a good job as a number two as
Exactly,
well.
yeah.
Let me ask you, Fozzie, about Kelleher.
So this is exactly the opposite of a Kepa, okay?
So will Kelleher, what's his first name?
Queven.
Will he be low-key fuming that he has signed there, been sold on the dream? Thomas Frank, impressive bloke. As soon as he signs, Thomas Frank is out the door.
I think he half will a bit, to be honest with you.
I think a lot more than half will. I think he'll be absolutely spewing.
You would be, wouldn't you?
Yes,
Yes, you would.
Hey, the manager is the driving force particularly of a Brentford, and I actually think he would have had some real good chats with him.
Yeah.
And not only now has the manager left, if you lose an Mbeumo and a Vissa, like you've gone from saying we're like top 8, really.
Yeah, we're looking to get top 8 again.
Comfortable with all that around you, and then you've left because you want to establish yourself as a number one in a good model of a football club, Premier League guarantee, all this, and all of a sudden, like the pieces are falling away, and you've not even put the bloody shirt on yet.
Well, Spurs may be looking for a number one. Maybe he goes straight there. Do you remember? Do you remember years ago, Coventry signed a player, and before he even played a game, they made a massive profit, and he signed for Real Madrid.
Who was that?
In the Premier, Robert Yarni.
Robert Yarni.
I'm sure it was. Wasn't it him?
You've got some knowledge.
That's incredible. Did you win the quiz overall for stuff like that? That's why you won it.
Yeah, but Coventry signed him, and he signed, never played a game.
That's honestly, that's
Amazing.
random Chapman 98.
What about Mikel? John Obi Mikel? Same thing there.
What happened to
Man U, didn't they sign him and then he sold him straight to Chelsea? Without playing a game? Something happened?
I think we've got a podcast here, lad. The biggest transfers
Yeah.
where
That never happened.
never played, but they made...
But what about
the title?
another player that signed for a manager and the manager buggered off before he got to play was Billy Gilmore now. Remember when he went from Chelsea to Brighton?
Yeah.
And then Graham Potter went,
Chelsea.
I think it was like the next week again, went straight to Chelsea.
Swap the other way back.
Yeah,
as
never
well.
even played for him.
But it can have a real detrimental effect on the player.
Puts you on the back foot straight away,
I
doesn't
think Kelleher has to probably just get it in his head that this is his big chance now. This is his chance to really make a name for himself as a Premier League goalkeeper, because it's really difficult, to go from being a number two for as long as he's been a number two at a big club, real big club, to then go in, week out. It's different training, it's different schedule, it's getting your body used to that rigmarole.
Is that why, Fozzie, the fee isn't... Because I was a bit surprised at the fee, that it wasn't a little bit higher than what it is.
Exactly.
Is that because he's not a one?
He's not a fully
ability-wise, he is.
He's not a fully proven. I've seen so many goalkeepers that are number twos that have got so much ability, right? But you put them in the pressure of week in, week out, and they're great now and then filling in for a few weeks or a month or 4 or 5 games. But then you start to see a real decline, don't you?
Yeah.
You start to see a real tail off.
The fee is what it is, 12 million, because he's not ever had that long continuity of it at all. Yeah. And when you get to 10, 15 games, and you might have really got to your ceiling there, and you're needing actually the release of the pressure cooker to come out, which is what you've been all your career. Now you've got to drive on again. You've got another 30 games to come out.
Exactly.
To be fair to him, like number twos, like you say, don't really play. But it'd be interesting to see how many games he had in a row last year, because there was a period where
Alisson's had a few extended.
He must have had at least 10 games
out. Yeah, I think he did.
Towards the end of his run, was it Newcastle? And
he
there was
started
a couple of wobbles.
we spoke about it.
A couple of wobbles.
But I think Brentford, as a club, it's a good model, because I would assume with his character and personality, wanting to leave Liverpool and get to be that Premier League number one, 12 million's a snip, but he's got to be going in now with a mentality, even though we've discussed that Frank's gone and Mbeumo might go Vissa, he's got to say, look, 12 million's a snip, and he's got to drive it forward. if he's not.
I like it. I think he can. I think he's a good enough goalkeeper, and from what I've seen and from games and what I've heard about him, he's good to go. Yeah. And I think he'll be a success.
Also, that fee doesn't make him stuck, I don't think. Because so if they sign him for 20 or 25 million, say in 2 years' time someone wants to go and sign him, they're still like they can go and sell him for 20 million and make an £8 million profit.
That is exactly right. It's exactly right. It's where in a couple of years, if he's smashing it, somebody could feasibly come in with a £50 million bid.
Yeah.
And that will make it work.
The ceiling's higher, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes it
whereas
work.
if they went and paid 25 million for him, that's going to hinder him moving. Yeah, price him out of a move.
Because then the next move has to be a 60
But
or
that's
70.
when with the club have done well, isn't it? Fleckham were older. The values are not quite the same. I think they got 11 million for him. So there's not too much within it, but there's some real growth potentially in this deal.
Toze, let me ask you a question before we move on. Brentford, good infrastructure at the club. The difference between them and a Bournemouth and a Brighton is they've proven that manager cycle that they replace. Brentford haven't got that side of it because Thomas Frank's been in there for 7 years?
Yeah. Smith.
Any worries at all? Or
Definitely,
do you
I
feel
think.
like they're solid?
Yeah, because they had like a solid foundation. So I think there is genuine concern. They've got to get it right because they could literally find themselves right at the bottom in a massive relegation battle.
Yeah, they were hot and cold last season. They finished the season really strong, but
started
really badly. And if they get off to a start like that this year, when they haven't got Thomas Frank, who knows the scene, knows the Premier League, knows how to steady the ship, mate, it could be a tough season for Brentford. They need to get off to a good start.
They'll be all right.
But they're going to lose. They're talking about losing in Buemo. They're talking about losing Wissa.
20 goals out the doors.
Yeah.
If you look at him and Visser.
Who will they bring in though? They're proven for.
They're a fantastic team. They've got some great players. Midfield, very good. Defensively, very solid. New signing Kelleher. I think they will be all right, and I only think they'll lose one of them, Buemo and Visser.
And how much of the staff's gone with Frank? How much has actually gone with him to Tottenham?
He's lost 3, hasn't
So
he?
is his recruitment gone with him, or is that just part of the club? Because that's going to be the main thing.
Even then, it's kind of there'll be even if they don't go yet, it's the sort of thing where we in the pipeline in the next few weeks or months or
the assistant manager's just gone.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Potter went to Chelsea and they even went so far as taking recruitment and it backfired, didn't it?
That's what I mean. Football management's brutal, lads. Sod getting into that for a game. It's so unsecure. Hard work it is.
Who's that? Someone's on a fine.
Or did you want to touch on Wilder then?
Oh, wait, yeah.
Breaking
news.
Go on.
Oh, Young Player, PFA Young Player of the Year nominees. Right, six players.
Saliba.
Right, who have we got? Rattle off a few.
Young player.
Wow.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
No.
Palmer.
Saliba.
Saka?
No.
Saka's not young, is he still?
No. So we've got
Possibly.
We're flying here, aren't we?
Milos Kerkez,
Yeah, good shout.
Dean Huijsen,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ethan Nwaneri,
Very good.
Yeah.
Morgan Rogers,
Miles Lewis-Kelly.
Morgan
Miles
Rogers.
Lewis-Kelly.
Yeah.
and Liam Delap.
Morgan Rogers, isn't it?
Solid this, that.
Morgan Rogers for me.
He was so good last
That's about 750 million quid worth of talent you just named there, by the way.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Liam Delap was a snip, weren't he?
30
It was a
minutes.
snap. Should we talk about Liam Delap quickly? I think that's a fantastic signing. I'm going to
that's
put it
a
out there.
no-brainer.
I think he could have a monster season this year at Chelsea. So much so that he could get himself into the England team, lads.
I think he will have a monster season.
I do.
I think it's massive. I was saying off air, why have Arsenal not got anywhere near that deal?
Surely it's a no-brainer.
It's got to be Maresco, isn't it?
It's got to be. It's got to be the only reason why. Because everybody should have been going, do you know what? He is a no-brainer. 30, 40 million quid. Just let's get it done early doors. Chelsea, fair play. It's a fantastic
I agree with you, Ben. I think he could do some damage this year. And I think if I was to look at like the England setup now and where we lack a little bit,
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly
and where
that.
we haven't got players
That's
really
exactly what
firing,
we're lacking,
I
yeah.
think he could be a shout to go.
World Cup year, mate. You'd want one like him.
Mate, you're going to get
no
so many.
fear.
I reckon you'll get 3 or 4 proper wild cards. Just hit form at the right time this season. Have a big Premier League season, hit form at the right time, and find themselves in that World Cup squad come the end.
Yeah, I
It's
like
wicked,
it.
isn't it? It's
Can we
belting.
talk about, before we carry on, you were scouring the internet earlier on.
We've got a clip for everyone at home, haven't we?
Right, and now we love you, Ben Tozer.
what's
we know
happened?
you haven't got a ridiculous ego, so you're comfortable with us airing this.
Luke, can you quickly play this clip? You've just been at the TST tournament. It's the seven-a-side tournament out in America. But the clip I'm talking about that we've just shown, and if you're an audio listener, I really do apologise for this. You can't see it, but go and find it somewhere. It's a clip of Ben Tozer getting absolutely
Bodied,
waste, bullied, all of the above.
Can I just defend myself a little bit?
Yeah, go on.
No. goal.
The ball had gone out of play, which you obviously won't see because you clipped it perfectly.
Look out of play.
It had gone out of play by a good 2-ball width. And I was half moaning, and then I've gone back in for it, in which time he's set himself and absolutely boshed me onto the floor.
Boshed you, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He has boshed you. Who was the number 2 that about 5 seconds after you see somebody just go flying again?
Yeah.
Who
I
was
think
that?
it might have been a young lad or Aaron James or
Mate,
something.
he got absolutely boshed.
That was worse. You can show that bit if you
It
want.
was worse.
Flying. We actually went flying.
It's a saving grace.
What's the crack with TST then, Toze?
So it's amazing. Like, I don't know if people have obviously heard about it, but it's a 7-a-side tournament in North Carolina. You're playing for £1 million. You've got teams like Nanny's got his own team, Nanny FC. You've got a team full of Premier League, like real good players that have been over the year, like Stephen Ireland, Tom Huddleston, Codger, Niassi, people like that. Codger from Villa, no?
Yeah.
You've got your futsal teams. Aguero played out there. It's the whole setup is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the way that it happens is, so you play 2 20-minute halves, and then after that it goes into target score time. So, for example, we were 5-0 up. I'll use it as an example. 5-0 up against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
We beat them in the normal game 5-0,
Yeah.
and then it goes to target score time is set to 6 goals. So the first team to get to 6 goals wins the game. So the game always finishes on a goal.
Yeah. So if you score straight away at that point, the game's over, yeah?
Yeah, so every 2 minutes, you both have to take a player off. So it starts at 7v7 for target score time. Yeah. After 2 minutes, it goes down to 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, and you end up with 2v2.
Yeah, okay.
And people are bringing their keepers on, players on as keepers and stuff. It's really good.
So there's a lot of
pure
tactics go
entertainment,
into it, yeah.
loads of tactics. It's just pure energy, tactics. It's
So the one
phenomenal.
thing we were chatting about it, one thing surprised you, so it's 7-a-side, but there's
Yeah.
like squads of 20.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the tactical element. So the question is would a Premier League team, like 10 Premier League big boys, would they go there and walk it?
Well, like current players now.
Yeah.
So who won it? Who won the tournament?
So it was a team called Bumpy
Pitch.
Pitch, yeah.
Bumpy Pitch, was it?
Bumpy
FC?
Pitch, yeah.
So if you put that 7-a-side team against a select 7 Premier League team
It would
all-stars,
depend on the players, yeah.
do you think it would be a competitive game?
It'd be class to watch. It'd be pure entertainment, yeah.
Different
The
style,
thing is,
really.
again, it would come down to tactics because, like, for example, I think one game I was on for one half, like 18 minutes of the 20-minute half, whereas this team that we played, that not the side, Drip FC, were the
one that you got
clip,
bullied in.
the one that I got bullied in, yeah. They were bringing players on and off every 90 seconds, but they were like fluidly moving their players around towards the
Rotating
bench,
around the pitch to bring them off on
to bring them off.
certain side.
That's more like the ice hockey model, isn't it?
And what
the ice
they'd-
hockey is like incredible when the
Yeah, so what they would do, the players that come on the pitch, they'd run straight up front, so it would just like, it would throw you off as the other team, because they just come on the pitch, because then they could just...
So answer the question then. A 7-a-side Premier League All-Stars team, yeah?
Yep.
You've got Alisson in goal, you've got, I don't know,
So you got
And you'd have Edison.
Tyrone Mings and Kirkes, and then you've got KDB and I don't know,
Chris Wood up front.
Chris Wood up front.
Erling Haaland up there, you've got Martin Odegaard in midfield. How are they comparing against Bumpy Pitch FC? It's a game.
Honestly, a genuine game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Nani's team had a player called Ricardinho, who wasn't the most athletic player, but you could tell he's a futsal player, and the way he moved the ball, manipulated the ball, it was
So who's
phenomenal.
winning?
I'll go Bumpy Pitch.
Yes. Honestly.
Yeah.
Only because they'd have had it depends on how long they'd have to, train for it, basically. Yeah, if you threw them on there now, tomorrow, Bumpy Pitch would win. But if you give them
The
time,
Premier League team a time to
they would
work out the rules and how it all works and stuff.
yeah,
But that can move you on closely now to the next subject, because you're never going to get time now as a Premier League footballer. It's becoming 12 months a year for whatever length of contract,
that,
career
Watto.
you have.
I love that, Watto.
That is
this
incredible.
World Cup, it's unreal, isn't it?
Have you been watching it?
No.
You didn't watch Bayern beat Auckland 10-0?
No, honestly, I didn't. I couldn't even have thought anything about it. The only bits I saw were some clips last night when Real Madrid missed a penalty last kick, and then
They didn't miss it. Bono saved it,
good
all
save,
right? The
you're
goalie
right.
saved it. It wasn't a missed.
Watto, I'm with you. I've not watched a second of it.
City beat somebody 2-0 from Leamington, I think.
Right, so what we need to do for this Club World Cup, there is a lot of questions around how you actually qualify.
How do you get into it, yeah?
Right, so we're going to very briefly explain it. So, very quickly, there are 2 ways to qualify. By winning a continental title, e.g. the UEFA Champions League, Copa Libertadores, in one of the 4 most recent seasons. If a club wins the title more than once in this period, such as Real Madrid, the slot is passed on to a team that qualifies from 2. Now, this is 2. By having a high-ranking performance in the top-level continental tournament over the 4-year period. So, over that Champions League, but you might not necessarily win it. Each confederation has been given a set number of places based upon its strength. As such, UEFA has 12 slots, CONMEBOL 6, there's 4 from CONCACAF, Asia, Africa, and 1 from Oceania.
So that was the Auckland team that got pumped 10-0.
Yes. So the kind of rhetoric, I guess, is that this is great for the world and the world game. But if you've got one team from Oceania, you've got Auckland going, who I was listening to Football Ramble last night, and they said Auckland usually make 300 grand a year or something like that. They're getting 2.6 million just for turning up.
So
if they were to get a draw,
basically ruined the New Zealand League by doing that.
Right.
Yeah, so Auckland now should be able to just go and absolutely dominate.
Win it for the next 10 years.
Because they've had 8 years worth of money.
They were in the position to get into this tournament first because they were the first ones of the...
But what's your thoughts on this? Because the scenario is that you don't want to ring fence it for Europe and South America, and you want it to be a world game, but Bayern beat them 10-0. They don't get paid. The players are on annual leave, taking unpaid annual leave. Obviously, they're going to have to pay them for this, but you don't want to seclude them. But at the same point, it becomes uncompetitive.
It's like what Watto said. He said it's become a full-time, 12 months a year job now, where if you're playing for one of the top teams, you're not getting any time off. And it remains to be seen how players are going to be able to cope with these demands, because if you're trying to play 12 months a year without a 2, 3, 4 week break, mentally, physically, mate, people are going to break down
so there'll be
all
players,
over the place, honestly.
Players in that tournament that won't get a break until 2027.
Exactly.
Because next year they've got the World Cup. And there'll be some other tournament in 2027, I'm sure. But they won't get a break. They literally won't get a family holiday.
So this, every 4 years now. Every 4 years they're going to hold this Club World Cup, whereas they were doing it every year, weren't they? So it was just the 4 teams, though, and it was a bit of a throwaway tournament. Now, though, because of the funding, obviously it's not a PSR, it's the Saudi investment group announced that they are a massive partner with it, where you would think that's where the money's going to be coming from, because the money involved is just ridiculous, isn't it? So look there, the highest ranked European sides will each get £29.6 million just to participate in the competition. 30 million quid just for playing in this tournament.
But it gives them a massive advantage in their home country tournaments, just for the rules, for trying to move forward, doesn't it? That's where the imbalances is going to come for everybody else. We just spoke about some of Villa's players might have to leave because of whatever, but if you're a team now that's in this...
I know Villa aren't going to win the Champions League, they can't next season, but if you're one of these teams, if you're a Real Madrid or Liverpool, this is going to give you additional incentive.
If you win it, it's near on 100 million quid for winning.
Yeah, it's a huge leg up, isn't it? Like
what it does then is surely for the football clubs anyway, maybe not for the fans or even for the players, but for the football clubs, it puts this as one of the most important competitions that year.
What are the PSR losses over 3 years? Is it 105 mil, something like that?
Roughly, yeah.
Something like that. So
you've cleared it.
Like, it's incredible. So actually, when you look at, for a good example would be when Real Madrid paid Liverpool. Was it 10 mil?
Yeah.
To get Trent early.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not being funny. There was a few eyebrows raised over that. But when you look at the scenario and go, if he makes a difference to them, because like the money ramps up massively for quarters, semis, and if he makes a difference between them, it's worth it. So you're going to get players like Harry Kane that are playing in Bayern Munich, and the club will be saying, guys, listen, this is not a fuck about. We have to win this or go deep in the tournament. But
that's what I'm saying. That like the season objective, you almost have to fast forward to the end of the season. So for these big Premier League teams, big European teams, it's almost like you go, Premier League's really, like, it's obviously going to be really important for us, but the money we could possibly get from the Club World Cup dwarfs all of it.
So like, looking at the squads then, Foz, so are we going to get to a point now where the squad size there's going to be changes to allow for this? Are we going to get Premier League where they bump it up and you're allowed 5 more in the squad? We're already on 5 substitutes per game.
Yeah.
Is there a world just throwing this out there, is there a world where that might move to 6, that might move to 7?
You could move to larger squad sizes in general, and
you're going to have to do, aren't you? But what you're creating is the haves and have-nots again. Because I know now at the lower levels of football, even guys who have got contracts at these clubs are not wanting to pay them in the summer months because there's no revenue, there's no work. And actually, at the very top of the game now, you're going polar opposite to that and saying it's the full thing. So where do you get the balance? I know that if this were a World Cup year, the Chelsea players, for instance, would be getting the Chelsea wages throughout the time, whether we're playing for England, Scotland, Argentina, it doesn't matter. But when you're actually stopping them in their summertime break now, having a holiday, is there any then scenario where these lads are saying, look, we're coming, we're trying to win 100 million, but we have to be incentivised somehow for working these extra
I
period
bet you,
of time.
I would love to see the bonus schedule, the bonus contract that Chelsea are on, that Man City are on. I'd love to see it, because I guarantee you, if Man City, probably Chelsea, if they win it, I reckon they'll be getting the best part of about 10 million quid to swap between the players, you know. Yeah. They must be.
But they
must be, just to incentivise the players.
Like
right, lads, please give us 3 weeks of everything you've got.
You're right in what you say, though, Watto, because it does become... You're almost getting to that closed shop where we've seen it, sadly, in the last 5 years, 10 years, where the promoted 3 from the Championship have got a good chance and stick in. And as the years go by... We've seen 3 up, 3 down last season. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the league next season and you look at it and you go, on paper, you can't see anything but 3 up, 3 down. Yeah. And are we ever going to get to the point of no relegation, no promotion, you know, like the Venky's thought it was for Blackburn? Yeah. And then you're just into this model of players wanting to sign as we're coming to the cycle of the World Cup, Club World Cup. Yeah. So if you're a year out from the Club World Cup, are players going to be influenced by that?
I know the South American teams some of the teams weren't selling their players in January because they were keeping them for this Club World Cup and how important it was for them.
It just changed the way that it works.
Well, this is why that little transfer window changed things.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe that makes their league stronger. It makes us not as strong over here.
If one of these North American or like Asian teams or something, or if they get quarter-final or something like that, because for getting quarter-final, semi-final, you'll get an additional 10 million quid, then semi-finals an additional 16 million quid on top of that. For a team like that, mate, an African team, it's like, wow, life-changing money for that football club.
Just to win a game in the group stage, $1.5 million.
It's bonkers.
That's Champions League money, isn't it?
Like you said, it's life-changing money, but it's league-changing money for that African league, because they will win, they will dominate it.
No, I just don't like it. I think it's too much football. I think it waters down the quality. I do.
Excuse my ignorance, but how did Chelsea qualify?
Yeah, how did they?
You said 4 years, over the last 4 years. What?
But it's it's like highest ranking. So if a team has won it twice in that period, right. I can't give you a direct answer on that. But it's like a trickle-down process, isn't it, of ranking points or whatnot.
How did Inter Miami get in it then? Is it
marketing?
I don't know. There will obviously be, but because Liverpool aren't in it.
No, yeah.
So there's a reason why. I mean, it looks really convoluted. And
have you seen the trophy?
No.
The
gold
trophy. You got to open it with a key, and only our mate Daniel Levy's got the key to open the trophy.
Gianni Infantino?
Infantino, yeah. He's the only one that's got the key, because apparently it's his tournament, it's his baby, and it's like...
get away.
God, get off your
the thing is, what I'm thinking is, like, Man City, after the season that they've just had, I know they were brilliant from January onwards, but it could be amazing for them. It could be, or they could just be wanting a rest from Pep.
Yeah.
The players could be thinking, we haven't had a rest this summer from Pep, like, please just give us a rest.
A rest, mate.
Because it's going to be going all the way through now.
There's a picture of Phil Foden there behind you, Watto. Like, I did an Amazon thing with him, and the big problem of why he struggled so much this season is just burnout. Yeah. It's just mental fatigue, pure mental fatigue of finishing the season, going straight away with the national team, playing in this tournament, playing...
Well, he said he didn't want to join up with England because he'd got the Club World Cup.
I know.
So I know England had one qualifier against Andorra, and we'll brush over that, and then a friendly. But actually, he's saying that the international stuff this summer...
It's not as important.
It can't be, because my club need this.
Exactly.
They need this. And if they go deep or get all the way in, he'll probably get a 5-7 day break and then pre-season.
And what does that do for them for the World Cup next year?
But, I mean, the one thing is, whether it's England or Argentina, the top players are still here. So it's the same for everybody. But it can't continue for players like that.
What's going to be the tipping point? What's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back here? What is it? Because Rodri was quite vocal, wasn't he, about player welfare? Yeah. Then he's done his crew shirt, and that got some headlines, didn't it? It might have been coincidence.
As long as there's money getting pumped in for these more tournaments, mate, it will just be what it was. If somebody gets injured, then it will just...
So they'll just accommodate. It will. I think eventually it will just become bigger squads, more subs.
Yeah,
it won't be less games.
But it waters down the quality. It waters down the talent. Yeah. When you've got one game every week, Saturday to Saturday, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to be a fairly similar starting 11. When you've got games all over the place, Saturday, Wednesday, you're changing 11s virtually every week. You have to.
Will we see like a higher turnover of player? Because I know Chelsea sign players on 9-year contracts and stuff like that, but every year, every two, just players are a commodity, aren't they, basically? Yeah. You know, when you're not needed, see you later, get a new player in. Because if there's injuries, just keep turning people over.
Jack Grealish. So Jack hasn't gone, has he?
No.
So Jack hasn't gone. England next season, obviously next World Cup, he'll be setting his sights on that, won't he? So what is Jack going to do?
Big move. He just needs a big move away, get a smile back on his face, play football. Simple.
Because I think Spurs have... I was reading something earlier, Spurs have kind of distanced themselves from it. I've got a theory with Jack that there's rumours of him going back to Villa. I'm not sure that's a good move. They often say, don't go back, do they?
We've got a Villa fan in the house. Would you take Jack Grealish back at Villa? 100%. In a heartbeat?
Best player I've ever seen at Villa Park.
There you go.
That's nice. You've seen some good recently as well.
I think it'd be a good move. I do. Back to Villa, smile on his face. He knows the Midlands. He knows Birmingham.
Is he going to get in? Is he going to get in and is he going to play?
If you get Jack Grealish back to Jack Grealish when he was at Villa, or even the first couple of years, even the second year at Man City, he's
you want to see him as him, don't you? Yeah. As the player that he is.
Getting the ball on
his... Will Emery let him play as he wants to be? Because I think he's so detailed. I think if you're half a grass hair out of position, he might tell you. And I think Grealish...
Yeah, but he's been used to that, though. In possession. So
yeah, but we haven't seen Jack Grealish from Villa, have we?
No.
I'd almost rather see him. I'd almost rather see him, not that he'd go there, but at a team almost like a Wolves, or like
what are you
like
bringing
a Palace.
Wolves into
wait a second. Like a
How
Palace,
have you bought Wolves?
like a Palace, like a Brentford,
Horrible.
like a Bournemouth, where regardless he is the star player. It goes through him. I think he thrives almost being...
He'd go back to Villa and be a star player now.
I've got the move for him. He can go and do what he wants at this team. Go and join Barnsley, mate. Get him promoted out of League One. Do what you want for him. Honestly, it don't matter, does it? Just get the team promoted for us.
Jack Grealish up at Barnsley.
23 games at Oakwell.
Hey, he'd be in the local social clubs, wouldn't he? Say that. He definitely would be. He'd be born straight in.
And I tell you what, he'd have a smile on his face.
Talk to us about the Barnsley nightlife, Watto, because I hear from you and listening to Big John Parkin that it was legendary back then.
Legendary. And actually, Grealish could get the game back up again.
Rough and ready.
The nightlife game.
You know what you're going to get?
Yes, you do. It's a very quiet evening out.
The Club World Cup's been good for people like mi amigo Trent Alexander-Arnold, though, hasn't it? You know, integrating him straight into the squad, getting game time.
Hey, he's just a quick learner, all right? Get off his back. He's just a quick learner. That's all it is.
It has been good. It has been good, yeah, because he's straight in. But that's like a rare scenario. But whilst we're on it, amigo, what did you make of it? The press conference, like if you were a Liverpool fan, right? And you were maybe on the fence or giving him a bit of credit. I think if you're a Liverpool fan watching that, you'd go, that mother.
Yeah, but put your shoe on the other foot. When they signed like Morientes all them years ago, if he'd have come out and done a perfectly English interview, they'd have loved it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but it's different.
Because it's Liverpool.
Because English people don't learn different languages. We're ignorant.
Right, okay, yeah.
It didn't even occur to me at first. I heard it and I thought, well done, that's class. That's really.
We all wish
really
we could speak Spanish.
I think I thought it was class.
We're quite innocent. We're innocent people, aren't we?
I
don't expect anything.
The Liverpool public are not giving him enough credit because the thinking is not even thought about all like that.
Was it because he's lost his...
But what he did, like the press conference he did, listen, he could pick that up and learn that in a couple of weeks. But I think because the rumour mill was apparently Trent's been learning Spanish for 2 years and he's fluent, and there was a little bit of resentment towards him from certain fractions of the supporter base. I think when he's come out and kind of done that, I think they're a bit like, you bastard.
Yeah, understand.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
Right, lads, let's move it on. Come on, we're cooking here. We are literally cooking because it's 30 degrees outside and it is ridiculously hot in here as well because we've got about 7 human beings sucking up all the oxygen.
It is melting.
I think that the Premier League's most expensive transfer flop, is kind of unfolding in front of our eyes. Mikhailo Mudryk has been charged now with doping offences.
Alleged doping offences.
But if it gets to the point where they're charging him, then there's probable evidence, enough evidence for them to actually do that now, isn't there?
And they reckon you get a 4-year ban. But the way Chelsea's done his contract, he'd still have 2 years left.
So 2031 his contract runs out, Watto. Did you ever get a 7-year deal, 8-year deal?
No, mate. I would never.
That'd have been nice. Your Toze, 8-year deal?
No, 4.5 the best.
Did you get 4.5?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Where was that?
Newcastle.
4.5.
Yeah. Oh.
Fair play to Newcastle.
So he's facing a 4-year ban, but it opens up now what is going to happen, right? And it would be so interesting to know all the facts and figures behind this, all right? So for the last sort of year, basically, since he was been suspended, has he been getting paid by Chelsea? Because he would have been on really good wages, because he cost them near on 90
I believe he would have done. Because
it would have to be paid because
it's an
everything at that
investigation.
point's an investigation, an alleged breach.
90 million quid, and they're still having to pay him, 150 odd grand a week, you reckon?
No, I think he was. Wasn't he one of these that was on the less money, but over like the 80, 90 or?
It's only on 90.
Yeah.
I don't get this. Why would you sign less money but longer term?
Because it's a guarantee.
Yeah, but surely you sign more money shorter term.
Well,
you get the same money in a shorter time.
Well, he wasn't proven, so he's probably gone. This is a once in a lifetime. I've won the lottery here. I've got a 9-year deal or eight or 9-year deal. He wasn't proven
Because he was going to Arsenal, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
on
listen,
half of that,
listen,
apparently.
The reality is, if he tears it up, he's getting a new deal within a year. Anyway.
Hold on a minute. You're telling me that somebody's get bought for 90 million quid and you're only asking for 100 grand a week?
But he was at Shakhtar on, again, no one knows exactly, but 5 grand a week or something?
Yeah, but either way, it's 90 million quid. If you get bought for 90 million quid, straight away it starts at 150.
It was an 8-year deal.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Why would you sign an 8-year deal on less wages when you could sign a 4-year deal on more wages?
Because it's a guarantee.
But you're still getting it in the 4-year deal. So if you sign,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, you have to do half the years for the same amount of money.
Because Chelsea, they didn't want that model, did they?
Yeah, but why would Mudryk sign that? It's ridiculous.
Because he's getting.
Said, I'm going to get paid for the next 8
Yeah.
years. I don't need to do too much else.
But even the agent gets it percentage-wise each year, so surely he gets the same amount.
What if it was an option? What if that was your only option?
Yeah.
Mikhailo, give me a ring. I need to know the.
Come on the first.
You want a new agent?
Tell us all about. The other thing is that the reported substance was allegedly administered during the international break. So that's been put out there. Is that something you think Chelsea are going to hang their hat on because they're like, this could be a little out here for us to give him the old heave-ho?
Yeah, you'd think they would be trying to explore every avenue to
basically sack him.
It sounds bad, but they're going to try and sack him. If he has done what he's done, then he's violated his contract, basically. Everybody knows that you can't take drugs. Everybody knows that you can't do steroids, anything like that. It's the most obvious. It's not even a question as a footballer. Yeah. It's not even a question. There's so many strict, stringent
I would never take anything other than paracetamol, ibuprofen.
We can't even take Lemsip. Yeah, genuinely, we can't take Lemsip. It's not even a thing.
The other thing is how conscious. I know the answer to you because I know you were really, really conscious of it. But the other element is what you've been given. So if you apparently trust a doctor and he said you're okay having this, if you've had something food-wise, if you're in an environment, maybe someone could put something in your drink. Yeah. How, as a pro, how on it do you have to be?
On it.
Yes.
On it.
Strict,
like walking around,
no
if you've got a drink, putting your hand over it and stuff. When
I know you do that. You used to
hand over the thing. Yeah, watching your food, never leaving something unattended, for example. You have to have a certain amount of trust when it comes to doctors, for example, right? If I'm going to see a doctor, they have to be a doctor I'm known or advised to go and see through official club channels, right? So you have to put a bit of trust into them. And if that is the case, that it was something like this, then I could understand it a little bit, and he's got a real corner to fight. He has got a real corner to fight. But if it's just some random Joe that he's popped into the shop and gone, can you just give me this injection of that? your accountability has to come into it.
But you have got to have your wits about you, because if you're a young player, you can see how they might get. I remember being with you once, right, and it's a really awkward conversation for you because you're standing there like that, and I remember we were in a bar and some blokes come up and go, "Ben, I've bought you a drink," and you've gone, "Mate, that's really kind, but no, thank you, no, thank you." And the guy's got the ump with you and go, why are you being a big time? And you're like, no, I'm not. I don't take drinks from strangers.
Anything could be in that drink. Like, no chance. I'm sorry, mate. And I'll have a conversation. I'll explain it.
But everything you take, you would have to put it into a website called Global Dro.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? You go on Global Dro, put in that your sport is football. You go on, you type in what it is limp sip or whatever.
Yeah.
You put that in, it says whether it's authorised or not authorised.
Okay.
Simple as that.
And they have something now, so with products, obviously it's been a long-standing thing, but you have Informed Sports.
Informed Sport.
So what's that, Foz?
So basically what it means is it meets the strict codes of when they're producing it in a factory environment, that it can't get cross-contaminated with anything else. So it is exactly what it says on the tin. And going back to the website you said there, if there's any kind of doubt, any grey area, it's a no. The no.
Yeah,
you don't do it. It's literally a green tick, yes or no. Simple as that.
He's got nowhere to go because of the rules that are in place now. It doesn't matter whether he's on international duty or he's fishing down the lake.
Yeah.
Got to be more diligent.
You just got to be more
It's
diligent.
accountability. But sports people have to be accountable
And for
this.
Chelsea,
You'd be
because
surprised.
he's not hit the ground running, it's
Yeah.
a big art for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a big out for them. It's a shame as well, because like I say, he's a young kid, and I'm sure it's something, it's really probably affecting him, and it's a horrible situation to be in, but it's a real important message for a lot of young athletes out there, that you've got to be really careful.
Yeah. OK, before we move on to the quiz, just very quickly, if you'd have said at the start of the season, Watto, if you'd have said to Chris Wilder, you're going to get 90 points in this championship season, you're not going to go up, but there's two exceptional teams, you're going to get to player finals, but you don't quite make it over the line, you're going to get the sack. Would you have believed him?
He would not have believed that, no. I think this is where the game gets lost a little bit. Obviously, what he's done for Sheffield United this year would be, I think, 8 out of 10 years you're promoted, and they had 2 points docked as well, so I think it'd have been a shoo-in. So I think he's very, very unfortunate, but the ownership model will be data-driven, process-driven, but you look at the stats, Wilder got 2 points per game last season. The guy who's now replacing him, after having 27 games in the championship, were at 1.26. So it doesn't seem to make any sense from that perspective, but it's maybe what modern football requires, that the old-fashioned or older school methodology of a Chris Wilder that's really tried and proven, especially at that level, they want to kind of jazz it up a bit, and only time will tell in terms of the season as to whether it's been a really, really clever appointment or a disaster.
I just don't like... it just screams to me of, you've got a guy that knows how to get the job done there, and it feels like it's another young, fashionable manager, foreign manager with a philosophy, and they've gone, let's buy into that. When, this is a risk for them, isn't it, Toze?
Yeah, it is. I mean, as well, Wilder being a Sheffield lad, Sheffield United fan, it's quite sad, really. But it's Sellers. I can only speak about him. He was at Reading and did a really good job, with real constraints on him as well. I know Hull was kind of a tough one when he went in there. They were already on the back foot, and he just kept them up at the end. But I think it's one of them where Sellers will go in. If it doesn't work, they'll get Wilder back. That's the way it'll happen.
He wouldn't go back again.
Oh, it's his club. If he turned it,
fan, isn't he?
yeah, if he turned it down, sadly, people would be berating him. Sheffield United fans would be fuming at him for not even going back again.
It's almost like they keep trying to reinvent the wheel and then go, actually, Chris Wilder does a real good job, doesn't he? And I don't know if you watched the player final, but Sunderland are the luckiest team to ever get promoted to the Premier League, lads, honestly. The semi-final against Cov, they got absolutely battered, honestly. It was a miracle. And then even in the final, they got pumped. Sheffield United pumped them. They really, really did. They had the 2 chances later on, they put the ball in the back of the net, but that's football, isn't it? That's the way it goes. It's I feel really sorry for Chris Wilder. Good guy as well.
Question for you. Football fill-in, quiz. When do we reset the quiz clock to 0? Are we on pre-season friendly?
Yeah,
Is this a tune-up?
No, pre-season
We're
friendly.
like at the Club
Is
World
it?
Cup.
I was hoping to catch Watto.
Hey, come on.
You can't start next season with
I've
scores
not
on
batted
the
you
board,
about that
can you?
challenge.
So are we having a trophy next season as well? I want a big with a key.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want Infantino to come and open it.
There it is.
Okay, cool.
And I want it to be like the Club World Cup, and I want us to get 100 mil for the winner.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
All right. We'll be very similar.
one round winners a couple million quid as well.
Monopoly millions.
You ready, Jay? Quiz time.
Welcome back to the football film quiz. Like we said, it's a test match today, so there's no scores getting counted or added on before the start of the season. Yeah, but before I start, I've actually got a what do you call it? A stat about Robert Yarni. Would you like a stat?
Robert Yarni.
Robert Yarni. In the summer of 1998, Yarni initially moved to the English side Coventry City, signing for 2.6 million from Real Betis. However, when Real Madrid decided they wanted the player, they successfully bought him from Coventry City for 3.4 million.
For how much?
3.4 million. With Yarni having made no appearances whatsoever for Real Madrid, some believe this was a joint Coventry City and Real Madrid tactic, as Betis refused to sell him to the Madrid club.
But made a quick 800 grand.
Okay.
Fair play.
Yeah.
So I was... Yeah,
Good insight.
Robert
I love
Yarni.
that.
Yeah.
What was the John Obi Mikel one? Have you got time? No, you got time.
What, that parallel world where Real Madrid and Coventry are working in cahoots?
Can you
Brilliant.
imagine, mate?
That's a match made in heaven, isn't
I
it?
told you, it was peak champ man 98.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I
3.4
was
million was
ruining
quite
my
a lot back in the
education.
day.
A lot of money back in the day.
98, yeah.
My first one was
Hey, that was Ben Tozer years, wasn't it?
0001.
No, you'd have been too young. I think 0102. When did you come into the game?
that was 102.
Yeah. I remember.
But he never
Signed
made an
it.
appearance for Real Madrid.
No, 08.
Oh, he did.
FM
No,
08.
Coventry. He never made an appearance for Coventry.
FM 08 wonder
I
kid.
remember seeing you, but I was at the game by 08.
What?
Right, come
Right,
on then. Let's go,
ready?
Jay.
You've never been out there.
Question 1. For 13 years, Mario Balotelli was the only Italian to win the Premier League, but which Italian has recently joined him? For 13...
Chiesa.
Chiesa is the correct answer. Well done, Ben. 1-0.
Did he play 10 times last year?
Did
to
he,
get
Fox?
his medal? Come on.
Don't do that anymore, do they?
No, they don't do that
anymore.
You haven't gotten angry yet. I'm proud of you.
Never get angry.
Question
Not
2.
on a friendly.
It's friendly.
Spurs have just signed Matthias Tell from what club?
By a minute.
Bayern Munich. Boom.
Wow, he's out the block.
2-0.
I think it's a surprising signing, that. I was
Yeah,
surprised
30 mil.
they made that permanent. It's a lot of money, that. And he didn't really rip it up, did
Do
he?
you think Thomas Frank's give that the
He
green
must
light
have
as
done,
well?
though. He must have done. I can't imagine...
I think it might have already been well done.
Yeah, it might have been already down the line. But even then, if he wouldn't have if he'd have hated it, I bet you could have pulled the plug.
I'm not sure.
Mate, this is ridiculous. That's
a
twice
That's
now.
a fine. It's Adam's fault. I was waiting for
That's
his
2
phone call,
fines, isn't it?
Massive fine.
What is it for next season? Fiver ago?
Yeah.
Question 3. What is the name of Brentford Stadium they used to play in before the G-Tech Stadium?
Griffin Park.
Griffin
Yes.
Park is the
Well done.
correct
That's
answer.
really
That's good.
Not sure I'd have got that.
New one out, man.
What's the unusual thing about that stadium? Was it? I hope I'm right. It was a pub on every corner, wasn't there?
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
wicked.
G-Tech's the new one.
G-Tech, that's right. That's what got me head.
Community Stadium.
G-Tech
I
community.
never got that.
Famous Brentford fans?
Natalie Sawyer?
Yeah, at least I
Question 4. 2 managers got sacked on the same day last season in the Premier League. Can you name one of them?
Russell Martin.
Russell Martin is the correct answer. And the other one?
Ten Hag.
No. That start of the season. He was the first one.
2-1-1 now.
Yeah, the other one was Gary O'Neill. Both got sacked on the exact same day. Question 5. Where did Marcus Bettinelli start his career?
Fulham.
Wow.
Was that a keeper by
What
any
about
chance?
that this morning? Should have got that straight
Really
away.
good. You know, if Tom's getting these right, you'd be fuming.
That's good ball on, is
What
it?
you're saying, I'm a better loser than...
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
You're
I
not
don't
used
think.
to that, mate.
You better lose. I don't know. It's quite conflicting.
Fine, it's because it's friendly.
Career path question. Question 6. I have played for Crystal Palace, Southampton, Liverpool, Bournemouth alone, Crystal
Klein.
Palace. Klein is the correct answer. Well
Nice.
done. Well
good.
done.
Is that Southampton by any
Is that
chance?
3-2-1 now?
Yeah.
Very good, Nathaniel Klein.
Well done.
3, 2, 1. Now.
Used to coach him.
Question.
Come on, Tom. You've been very calm now.
He's
Come
bit
on.
his tongue for 6
Good lad,
questions.
Nathaniel Klein.
He's a good lad.
Goalkeeper used to coach him. It's not fair, is it? This.
Give me a champ. Give me a champ man.
Yeah,
I've been to Griffin Park. You must have been to
Sorry?
Griffin
Give me
Park.
a champ man question.
Probably, yeah.
You will have been.
I think I did.
Kim Kallstrom, Cherno Samba.
Concussion.
Give me one of them.
Question 7. Sam Allardyce got sacked as Everton manager back in 2018, but which manager replaced him?
Roberto Martinez.
No.
No, he was a before, wasn't
Frank Lampard.
No. Sam Allardyce got sacked as Everton manager back in 2018, but which manager
Ancelotti.
replaced him? No, not Ancelotti.
Chance here.
I haven't got anyone.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're out. All back in.
Could you ask the question again, please?
Sam Allardyce got sacked as Everton manager back in 2018, but which manager replaced him? Do you want a clue?
No.
No clue? No clue.
So 7 years ago now.
Koeman.
No.
Rafa Benitez.
No.
Damn!
Who is it?
I literally
5.
know.
Can we have a clue?
No, not yet. 4.
Oh, not a button shit.
4.
I'm Ronald
3.
Koeman.
2. 1. That's all he was. Right, all back in. He's currently managing in the Premier League right now.
This is winding me up.
Oh, Marco Silva.
Marco Silva is the correct.
Darn it!
Yeah,
I was nowhere near.
I'm off the board at least.
I didn't even
you're
know.
off the board.
3, 2, 1, 1.
Question 8. Who is Sunderland's all-time Premier League goal scorer?
Phillips.
Darren Bent.
Phillips.
I said you said
I
Phillips at the same
pointed
time. I
that
said
way.
Kevin.
You say Watto? Yeah, I thought it was Watto as well. Well done, Watto.
Come on. Thank you, mate.
European Golden Boot winner.
Incredible.
Hey,
Off
Jermaine.
Big Niall Quinn. Boom. Get.
What a big man, little man.
Boom. What a combination. It's like us here.
Jermaine,
Yes,
Like that.
Just like that.
I had it down. You name it.
Jermaine Defoe, 34. Darren Bent, 32. Niall Quinn, 29. Kevin
many?
Phillips, 61.
Wow.
Yeah,
Asimo Jan can't be far behind.
Very good name.
not on the list.
Remember when you only said a surname years ago? Long time ago. That's the player.
Yeah.
What are you on about, mate?
Yeah. I'll tell you who it
Miles
was.
off it.
I'll tell you who it was.
Miles
I'm
off
begging
It was
for that
when
point.
when I said, "Are you?"
Yeah, he
And
said Phillips. He said Phillips.
Which are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you said, are you, I'd say, are you what? Okay, well.
Unbelievable.
Oh, dad jokes for days.
Anyway, come on, let's get
Question 9. 3.
Get back to Spain, yeah.
Watto, you're on 3.
Yeah,
Tozer,
right.
you're on 2.
I'm on 1.
Tom, you're on 1. You're on 1?
Yeah.
Okay, you're on 1. Question 9. In July 2005, West Ham signed James Collin and what other Welshman from Cardiff in a double swoop?
Bellamy.
No. In July
Danny
2000... Danny Gabidon.
It's good, Tom. It's good, Tom.
Great answer.
James Collins.
Yeah.
Oh, James Collins. This is the best substitution in TST history I've ever seen. James Collins comes on for a corner, doesn't get his head on it, and runs straight back off.
Brilliant.
Like a kicker.
That's
I was so good.
Special teams, yeah.
Right. Tom, you can take this to a tiebreaker.
Oh, come on then.
Do you know what? If you came back and won this here, it would have been one of the best comebacks.
Istanbul all over again.
I'll ruin that. I'll win this.
Question 10. Petr Cech had 4 Premier League Golden Gloves to his
Good
name.
question.
But which other player
Joe Hart.
is joint with 4 wins? Joe Hart is the correct answer.
That's a bad question to
Not a
finish,
bad
isn't
question.
It?
It's not a bad
such
question.
a bad question.
You might not have been up there.
Well, you won it, mate. You
It would
won
be
it.
incredible if you were
Goalless
getting in for the
question.
tiebreaker.
I apologise for my
I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Look at him. He's just been yapping in my ear for 10 seconds then. I said that's the worst question to finish on, and he had spent 10 seconds just going, I'm not having this, I'm not having it.
Mate,
Don't you dare say that. You can't say
all
that.
I'll say is, I'm glad it's a friendly, because if that was a regular season game, I'd be gunning for you, Jay.
Yeah, I'd have been hard. I'd have felt hard done by if I was on the receiving end of that.
I've just accepted it's friendly.
Yeah.
We were all happy.
Can we do the... Have we got any more questions just for
We
the...
have a tiebreaker.
I'm clearly not fit if that's a friendly, pre-season
This
friendly.
is the nearest
Yeah,
to,
but
I'm
you've
going to
got-
cry.
It is
You're
an
still
interesting-
suffering.
Yeah, my
Hey,
talent,
different
my shoulder
area.
barge.
Hey.
Come on then, Jimmy.
Oh,
I'm still
Fine,
concussed from that
fine.
tackle, what I've said. I'm still concussed from that challenge. I love it.
Hey,
Hey, look, it's all good fun in it. It's pre-season.
he's
game.
here all week.
Talking of comebacks quickly, did you see England under
Yes.
19s or 17s?
five?
Came back?
19s. 5-1 down.
5-1 down.
No.
Scored 4 goals in 10 minutes, bringing it back to 5-0.
Against the Germans.
With half an hour left and it still finished
Get
5-0.
that fan on, please.
Yeah, Christ.
Question 11. If you played every single minute of a whole Premier League season, excluding extra time, how many minutes would you have played?
Is this nearest?
Nearest 2.
Well, you can just work it out.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
So you can do the maths.
I can't be bothered.
3,609.
No.
No, it's not.
5.
3,420.
I'm gonna win it.
Correct.
4,200.
3,420.
3,420.
Is it?
Yep.
Quick maths.
Quick maths.
Quick maths. Well done, Ben. Ran away with the quiz today.
I don't know.
No, he didn't
Five
run away
answers.
with it.
I did.
Yep.
2 I ran away with it.
Finish
Well done, Jay.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I need that fella.
I'll tell you what we do need for
Right.
the season, a
Turn
nibs
that fan on.
counter.
Tozer's about to pass out. 'cause it's too- See you later, guys.
See you later, guys. That camera bent.
For the best.